Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast. As you can see, Jim is not with us today. He's dealing with some family issues. I know I give him a hard time all the time, but love the guy, sending all my love for him. Jim, you know what this drink is for tonight, so can't wait to have you back. But I do have someone who is gracious enough to step in his place. You've seen her on the podcast before. You've seen her if you have any familiarity with Yacht Club games. It's, of course, Celia, who is also on the Spawncast and Game and Talk Pod. Celia, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Just got off work and I'm looking forward to chatting about games with you tonight. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
No, I really, really appreciate you coming on. Before we hop into anything else, Celia, where do you want people to follow you, or what do you want people to follow? And keep in mind, everyone, we will have her links all below.
Oh, sweet. Oh, thank you. So as you mentioned, I am on the Spawncast. We usually chat on Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I'm also on Game and Talk, which is a Nintendo focused podcast with Josie Woe, Nate the Hate, and RGT85. And we usually film, or not film, but like record every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Or 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes we go a little bit later. And then
Yeah.
lastly, for socials, sorry, I got a lot of them. On X/Twitter, I'm Celia B with 3 E's. And on Instagram, I'm Kosher Gamer. That's more of like a retro gaming focused thing. I post memes. It's a fun time. Okay, that's my plug.
No, you need to follow her. And once again, I know most of you will already know her. I feel like I don't even know how many years now we've known each other. It's been a while.
It's been a couple, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then finally last year, wait, oh my God, I'm already thinking last year. This past year, we finally got to
Mhm.
meet in person. So at Too Many Games. That wasn't your first taste of the East Coast, right? You've been here a couple times.
Yeah, I was there for PAX prior to that. So,
That's right.
but it was my first time being in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were in the greater Philly area, so it's an interesting little spot that we're there. If for anyone familiar, it Too Many Games happens at the Oaks, Greater Oaks Convention Center. So yeah, it was. What do you think of Too Many Games at the end of the day?
Oh, I really liked it. There were so many people that I got to meet for the first time. Because like for example, with the Spawncast, we usually have a panel there. And for most of the people, I haven't met them in real life besides like Josie, because Josie lives in California too. And so it was cool to like hang out IRL with them and be like, how tall is everyone actually? Because we're all seated. So it was fun to see.
No, yeah, Jim and I have said many times, going to conventions, it's honestly less about the convention piece. It's about meeting folks that you've talked to
Mhm.
or see whatever. And yeah, that is honestly always our favorite part of it. It's the hangout. It's the whatever. Yeah, you play some games. I know we're busy as hell working and doing panel after panel and this and that. But I mean, you still made the rounds and as we did our recap, like I think I've never not had a night go till almost 3 a.m. just talking to people every time I go to that convention. Sleep is it's not an option there.
Yeah, it's not. We'll sleep when we're back. I did
Hmm.
pass out for like 2 days. So I was like, I'm gonna take a bear nap, hibernate for a little bit, and then come out.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I got to discover when talking to you, I had revealed that I was actively in the middle of my first time playing Ocarina of Time, to which you
Oh
were shocked and
yeah,
disappointed. But I did finish that, but you were convincing me. You were like, Majora's Mask is better.
it
So
is
that
better.
is the one I have to tackle next year. Um, I chose the craziest resolution games this year, all like 80, 100 hour
Mhm.
games. And Ocarina was just one of them in there. So definitely really enjoyed it. And I don't know if you have the same, like, if you get through a big game like that, do you need like kind of a break from that exact like franchise, or do you think you can keep going through and playing them all?
I think it depends. Like if I get hyper fixated on it, because like Danganronpa, like when I first played the first game, I was like, oh my God, give me more. And then I played the second and I was like, fiending. And so like I just like went through anything and everything I could play. and then just start exploring the whole Spike Chunsoft like library of published games. So yes and no, but like I don't know, Stardew Valley, I got a couple hundred hours in, and now I can't look at farming games right now or I'll die. So I think it depends.
So, okay, so you do get the fatigue, but speaking of playing, I mean, obviously you heard from all her credentials. She's very busy. And being a marketing director for Yacht Club Games, you probably don't have a ton of time. But when you do, what are you playing these days? Like, well, what's your kind of
Okay.
go-to?
Okay, so I have a mix of nostalgia,
Hmm.
backlog games, and indie games that I'm just like playing through right now. So a game that I just 100%ed recently is Calabria Souls of Limbo. And
Nice.
I love that game. Have you heard about it before? It's all right. It's a smaller
Yes.
game if you haven't heard of it. Okay.
Hmm.
Amazing. It is a papercraft game that reminds me kind of like Paper Mario, but with Paper Mario, you remember like when you played it, like you would play as Princess Peach occasionally and do little side quests and fetch quests
Yeah.
and solve things. Okay, the gameplay is like that. It's just all of that, except you're solving heartfelt kind of I guess situations where you need to help people pass on from limbo. It is such a
Ooh.
cleverly written game. The humor is great, and I legitimately felt sad when I finished it. Like I want more, and DLC is coming out, so I'm very excited. Yeah, I've been like hyper fixated on that right now. I love it. It's so good. Anyway, so I'm obsessed with that game. Everyone go play it. It's available on Steam. I'm not sure if there's other platforms, but I played it on Steam. It's very, very good. Okay, so just finished that. In addition to that, I am playing through Roller Coaster Tycoon right now, the one that came out in 1999. Why? I don't fucking know. So I like to joke every December that I pick a nervous breakdown game, and that's the game that I play that I have a nervous breakdown with. Anyways, sounds counterproductive. You're like, Celia, you're supposed to relax during the holidays. No, I'm not. Shush. So basically, what I'm doing for this is I'm actually playing the game because I used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon like a lot when I was younger, but
Yeah.
I would play like my way, which is ignore all the rules and create murder roller coasters and make like a crazy island and then delete it
Are you
with
saying
entertainment.
that's not the way to play?
Okay, so that's like a fun way to play it. But like there's a bunch of strategies you can use and there's achievements and there's all these things. And so I decided that I was gonna play it for reals and see what happened. And
Okay.
yeah, it's really fun and it's also very stressful. Like I am so stressed playing this game. I love it. So I'm playing that. I'm also playing hold on, the title's really long. Let me pull it up. It's this point and click, like kind of mystery adventure game. And I don't want to get it wrong. Okay, so it is Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved. There we go. And it's
Okay.
basically like this indie game. It came out like a week and a half ago, and it's kind of set up. It reminds me of Emio, the
Ye
the Famicom detective game.
yes.
Yeah, so it's like similar gameplay to that or like an Ace Attorney where it's like point and click and you're investigating. But this is like MEO, it's more on the serious side of things, but it is cleverly written. In addition to that, like the art is gorgeous. It has like, a really kind of I don't know who to like compare it to, but the style looks really nostalgic, like of old animation. And it's
Okay.
it's really, really good. When I say old animation, it's like I want to compare it to Cyborg 009, that anime, but it doesn't look like that. But in my head, it does.
There's
So I don't
something.
know.
Yeah.
I just really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm very excited about that as well. And I've been playing on and off Promise Mascot Agency, which is really crackpot and very enjoyable.
I love the mix. By the way, I love any old sim game. And
Yeah.
when I use that term, like not only Sims or Roller Coaster Tycoon, like yeah, any of those. But to your point, I myself, I love those things. But man, is that a sign of us just growing up where like when you were a kid, you just did all the wrong, like when you build a Sims and a debt collector comes, you just put a wall around them and let them
Yeah.
starve or something. Like you do all that shit, and then you're like, let me try to do it real. And you're like, wait, why do I want to manage a whole park or a budget and worry about all these things? You're like, I could just do the cheat code real quick and just get it. You're like, no, I
Yeah.
want to try to do it right. Yeah, I get that. It's your stress reliever, but stress inducer.
Yeah, because I found out like there's a lot. Okay, so I never got this far in the game before, but like if you start making winding paths, because I like to fit like every square inch, like with something or rise or something I can profit
Yeah,
with. If you do windy roads, guests get lost, and if you have over 1,000 guests at the park at the same time, like the little beepy noise, like that lets you know someone's lost, just keeps on going off rapid fire, and and I don't know how to turn it off, and it's just stressing me the fuck out. I'm just like oh my God, what am I doing? Anyways, I love this game. It's so fun.
I love that. So that's why I've said before, I have comfort games and then I
Uh-huh.
have serious games. So Black Myth Wukong was one of my
Mhm.
resolution games. Um, I don't know if did you play that at all or get involved with
No,
that? Okay.
it's not my type of
I,
game, but it looks
I was
cool.
gonna say, do you like any Souls type game?
Mina. Besides that, I've played Bloodborne.
Okay.
I've played Dark Souls 3. So yeah, I think they're cool. They stress me out a lot, and I don't like them. I will play them, but I
Yeah.
don't like them.
As someone who's attempted multiple times playing Dark Souls, the only one I've beaten all the way through is Bloodborne, and I think it
Mhm.
was a little more fast action packed. So, I went through Black Myth, and there's something I told Jim the game feels unfinished. And I'm not someone when I pick up a game, I don't read reviews, but that was apparently what he was saying, like is one of the most common things people were saying or complaining about it before. Um, and the map balance is really not great. Like the first two chapters, you can get through in, let's just say, 6 or 7 hours. I'm on this third chapter, and for some reason, they made it like four different worlds, and it just goes on forever. And I just got the fatigue of like, all right, I need to put it down for a minute. So our buddies, we always every year we do Call of Duty, even though it's the same game every year. Play it for a few weeks, and then we're pretty much done. But my de-stressing game, very dumb simulator game, was Power Wash Simulator 2.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
there's something about that because I just put on music while I'm doing that. And I don't know if you do that as a gamer. Like, do you ever like actually not listen to the audio of a game and somehow
Yeah.
get yourself into a flow state and you can play better when you're not listening to the audio?
Yeah, but for music for me, I'll find a hyperfixation song and then just have that on repeat for 4 hours. Um,
Ooh, what is I
so
want an example of a
okay,
hyperfixation song.
I don't know, and I don't want to tell you. But so yeah, it'll be one of those a song that like just I'll like use it to like I don't know focus ADHD man, real wild, real crazy. But yeah, I'll listen to something on repeat and like I won't hear it basically. Like it's on repeat, and I'm so used
It's
to
a
hearing the song that it just makes me feel very calm and like focused. So I'll do that if that
when this
counts,
is
or
all
I'll
done,
just
I want to know a hyperfix because I'm very curious if you sound like you're like me, where once you find a new song you like, do you just re-listen to it over and
yeah,
over?
hyperfixation song. Yeah, and you just
Okay.
listen to it and it doesn't stop.
Hmm.
It's great.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm at a like a standstill where I'm like, all right, I only got a couple more months left or a couple more weeks left. Do I finish this or the last resolution game I have is Hellblade 2, I don't think it's called Send You a Sacrifice, but the first one was called that. Very do you know that game?
Wait, what was the game again? Sorry, one more time.
Hellblade 2. The
Hellblade 2. Okay, I've heard of Hellblade. I've never played Hellblade.
very it's a nice like 7 or 8 hour game. Well, the first one was. I don't know if the second one. Um, very story driven. It's
Mhm.
about I think she's a Celtic woman whose husband died to these Norsemen, and she has to go to Nordic hell to save his soul, and she also has schizophrenia. So the
Oh,
game is
shit.
100%. You need headphones on because the way combat works is you have to hear the direction that the blade is coming to defend it. So it's one of those ones though you couldn't not do it without audio. But when she's like having issues, you hear whispers like behind your head and stuff. Like it's like one of the most well crafted, like I would say, audio things I've ever played. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I just skip to that and I just won't get Black Myth done this year. Like it is what it is. That's kind of
So
where I'm leaning.
I think you should do what makes you happy, and no one will be mad at you if you don't finish Wukong, okay? Like no one.
Um,
I'll survey around. I'll let you know, but I think you're fine.
listen, as a fellow person who you're probably just like me, where you're like, no, I put a task, I'm going to get it all done and torture myself. So yeah, it's
Oh, that's how
true.
I feel about Banjo Tooie. I haven't finished it yet, but I hate it. Oh yeah, no, 100%.
And you're
But
stuck and you're gonna and I bet you're not only gonna finish it, you got 100% it, right?
yeah, well, that's what I'm doing with Banjo Tooie. I refuse to play my Switch until I finish Banjo Tooie. Because that's I was playing it on NSO, so that's why it's on timeout right now.
So Celia, I'm gonna give you the same advice. If you don't finish it, it will be okay.
Brian,
You
that
should
doesn't
do what
work.
you.
You know that. You know that.
I
Like,
know,
what the hell?
I know.
Who would give that kind of advice? Wow, crazy.
Well, actually, as I just saw you lift up your glass, I know you're not a big beer drinker, but that glass, where'd you say it's from again? Lazy
So this
Dog.
is yeah, this is from a Lazy Dog Beer Club, and they when you're in the beer club, you get a free glass every month. So I have way too many glasses. It sounded like a great idea in the beginning because you would get like discounts on drinks and food and stuff, and I love Lazy Dog. But yeah, you got a perk of free glasses. But anyways, this one is theme park themed. It comes in a set of probably a couple. And it's Froth City Fun Park, release number 18. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Okay.
And I'm
Now,
drinking
is
the
there
finest of tap water.
is there any connection with a theme park and your love of Sim City right now?
You
Or
know,
not
honestly,
Sim
I should
City, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
No, I this was a random glass. I tend not to coordinate my glassware. Like I have my Vegeta mug also on my desk, but that's like this morning's coffee, so I'm not going to drink that.
Well, you didn't know that in actually, ironically, Roller Coaster Tycoon, there is a secret hidden character named Vegeta. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
It's because it's
Is that
not
true?
true.
Oh yeah, okay, you're making that up. Okay. Like
But
that's interesting because like I feel like though Dragon Ball Z was popularized at the time, I'm not sure that they would include that as an Easter egg.
but you know what? There's so many of those 90s style games where there could be some weird connection to Dragon Ball that you just would never know.
You would never know. That's cool, Brian. Thanks for lying.
Yeah, so tonight, um, as I said, I have a specialty beer for later. But for Jim, for what he's going through, got to do it the Irish way. Having a Guinness, um, celebrate, send off, uh, always a standard. I know you're not a big beer drinker, Celia, but
Mm.
do you ever have you ever had a Guinness or do you like stouts
I've
at
had a
all?
Guinness. I went to college. I know what Guinness is. I just tend not to drink that often, like at all.
Yeah,
But when I do, it's fun.
it is. I remember you had a whole like two or three, and you were like, "This is a lot."
I was like, I'm in danger.
And then the next thing you're like, "This is number five." I was like, "Wow, all right, that's a lot
I
more."
don't think it was actually number five. I think I was just being
You were
annoying.
already done after two, and you're like, "Yeah, I
I
think
think I
that's
was
five."
gone, and then I was like, "This is the number that I've decided it is." No, Sean had like six, so I may have been telling you about Sean. Actually, I don't remember.
Listen, once the
But
cat sweater was broken out, I knew
dude,
you
I
had to be
love
feeling
that
good.
sweater, dude. You know, like that's okay. If I was a cartoon, and yeah, like cartoons have like the uniform or whatever, and like that's the thing that they draw them in always. Mine would be that cat sweater.
That would be your go-to.
Yeah, I know it is. Like I live in that sweater. Like I was telling Rocco about it and he's like, "Oh, that's great." And I'm like, "No, I'm not shining you on. Like I wear that Mega 64 jacket like all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
All the time."
Yeah, the Celia cartoon would definitely have that. And then you'd always have a handheld in your hand for
Yeah, I do
sure.
usually. Yeah. I have my handheld of choice for today is actually my Mina Game Boy.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
So wait,
It has
did
a little answer.
is that like custom painted? Like how'd you get that done?
So my friend Revis, he's on Instagram. He works for a company and makes them.
That's
It's
awesome.
like printed on. Yeah, no, he's great. He does a lot of different mods and stuff. I worked with his company quite a few times before I actually got to know him, and like we've been really good friends, and like yeah, we hung out in Japan together too, and that was really cool. So cool dude, really great, and that's where I got the Mina thing from.
I love it. No, that's awesome.
Mhm.
You know me, my question to you always, no matter what you're doing, I'm like, which handheld, what color? I know you're
Yeah, no,
coordinating
because
on
I
some level.
do. Cool, because I usually do that. I will coordinate my outfits to my Game Boys.
Yeah.
But like I just like, I like handhelds. Like I've been carrying around my GameCube, not why I say GameCube. GameCube, yes, the thing. But I've been carrying around my Game Boy like in my backpack or my purse or whatever since like I was in the second grade. And it was literally one of those things where I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. And I just never stopped. And it always like, besides just playing when I'm bored, start stop with things. Like it's a cool conversation starter if someone else likes that. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's just fun. So
How many different covers, accessories, things do you think you have for your handhelds?
I have a lot, to be honest. Like I have a few Game Boy Pockets. I have the original DMG. I have tons of Game Boy Color like versions. I have like two Pokemon Edition Game Boys. I have my pink Game Boy. I have an orange Game Boy. That one's a modded one. It's also a Pokemon Edition one. It's not real, but it's real enough. I have a Zelda themed Game Boy. I have a SP that looks like a Pokedex. I have a silver original SP. I have a bunch of all the Game Boy Advances. I have a pink clear Game Boy Advance, which is one of my favorites.
You just named so goddamn many that I think it's very obvious what you need to do is do those get ready with me as you pick a Game Boy and you
Yeah, for
like
my fit.
coordinate the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, it's one of those things, man. I just like it. And like I have like different carrying cases and like I have my favorite lanyard one, which like I really want them to make for Switches because having it around your neck is so much more secure than like just carrying it.
Yeah. Well, if it's Nintendo, if they can find a way to charge you for accessories, they'll do it
Yeah,
for
but they
sure.
gotta make it, dude. Dude, I've pitched that thing to so many different like third party. I'm like, just fucking make it. You don't need to give me money. I just want it. Because I don't trust me, dude. Okay, like if it's around your neck, you drop it. It's there. It fell like 1 inch. And like the thing is though, is that Game Boys are like basically indestructible. I've like dropped them like, when I didn't have the lanyard on it plenty of times. You drop a Switch 2, it's over, and that's it. So yeah, I would like to have a lanyard on it, please. Thank you.
I I can concur 100% as someone who has a Switch. It fell one time, Joy-Con went to shit. I still have the original gray brick Game Boy that I had when I
Mhm.
was a kid. I don't know how many times that freaking thing's dropped. Still works like nothing has ever happened to it. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, like 110%. So, I don't know. And like Nintendo used to be synonymous with quality, like of like for their hardware, like it would last forever. Like I remember I dropped my this is embarrassing, but my Nintendo 64 down the stairs because I was moving, it fell out of the box, and I went no as it like down, and it's still working. It's hooked up in my living room, so
Ooh, a
whatever.
Celia Nintendo 64. Did you have was it one of the clear ones?
I never did. Okay, I have three Nintendo 64s. They're all the great, standard one we got in the
I'm
States.
shocked.
I know, I'm such a loser. I really want the Pikachu Nintendo 64 so
Okay.
badly. And yeah, I want it, but it's expensive. So I like fantasize that I'll go to a garage sale and like
And
some old lady will be like, "Oh, like my son left this here years ago and you can have it for like $5 in my head." Okay, just shh, shh. And
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go, "Oh, thank you so much." And I'll give her like a 20 and she'll feel really like, "Wow." And I'll be like running away before she changes her mind or looks it up. So I have like that fantasy. Anyways, I would like that and I want a jungle green. Also,
Jungle
atomic
Green.
purple is so good.
You want the whole collection, let's be honest.
Probably, but don't get me started.
That goes back to the happiness. You need to collect everything, right?
God, can't stop, won't stop, but it's life.
But one of the games we have to mention every week, So obviously, with Jim not being here, we will be getting our Max Payne review done. It was requested to us by our patrons, which we thank you guys so much for your continued support. As always, if you don't know, you can continue to support us on Patreon/Drink a Beer Play a Game. $2 a month gets you any questions on these Power Hour podcasts. $1 gets you exclusive behind the scenes videos, and $5 will get you any type of game review you want. So this week we have two questions. One, I don't think you'll be able to help answer, Celia. It's a shot at Gemini. Why did
Excellent.
Phillies from JD Maines? Why did Philly stop running the ball up 21 points against Dallas? And is it possible just to make Brian and Jim age faster? Um, Jim and I are both in full agreement. We hate the scheme right now offensively for the Eagles. Losing to Dallas hurt extra. So, yeah, JD, that they required an extra drink or two. I'm going to say that. Anything to add to that, Celia?
I don't even know what you guys said. I heard words, but I
Have you ever had any interest in football?
do I look like I've ever had any interest in football?
Clearly, what are you
Oh yeah,
talking about?
obviously. Go
I
sports.
know, I know in the background, the blurry stuff, you really just have signs for, well, you probably have the 49ers or Chargers or the Rams. You probably have all that stuff right
Um,
behind you.
okay, so the closest thing that I have to knowing anything about football is that I years ago, okay, this is like probably 10 plus years ago, I did a consumer test about a reality TV show that was obsessed with like sports or whatever. And to get into it, because they paid you money, to watch the whatever thing that they were showing, you had to be a fan of something. And I said the Packers. And they're like, oh, you're a big fan. I'm like, yeah, like, and I like Googled real quick, like, cheese heads and like all of that. And so I
Yeah.
lied for like a couple minutes to get the like, to do the consumer test. And yeah, that's all I know about sports. But I am the best fake Packers fan ever. Go cheese heads, wear green.
I I love
That's
that.
it, I know.
And I was half expecting you to tell me you entered a contest for something and won some football thing that you
No,
didn't know
I
anything
wouldn't
about.
enter that. I know my cousin's like a huge football guy. And honestly, I he's talked about sports since we were like little kids, and I still
Yeah.
can't tell you like anything about it. I just tune it out.
You're
It's like
just like
elevator music. Do, do, do.
you know what? I respect it. I respect the lie to get into that thing, but I'm a big fan of like, yeah, I'm just not into that shit. It is what it is.
And it's okay. No, and I think sports, like for everyone that does like it, I think it's really cool. I understand getting really into it because I've watched like esports and for certain games, like when I was watching the Pokemon video game tournament and like knowing how that game is played and seeing how people play it and their skill, it's very impressive and very hype. So I do respect it. I think it's cool. But since I have no prior knowledge and or interest, yeah. But
Yeah.
respect it.
So JD, thank you. You son of a bitch. Always with these questions. But and then from our buddy Burn Retinas, he says, if the technology were possible for both scenarios, would you rather live in a city built in the ocean depths or on a space colony? Hmm.
Can I say fucking none? Like, no. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. I live in California. California has earthquakes. Living underwater, earthquakes still happen under the water, okay? So my brain literally went to, wow, that would be really scary. Because I don't trust societal infrastructure. So I feel like space would be better because then you could like float around though, but it would also be very claustrophobic because you can't really leave your space station because you have to wear your spacey suit.
See, it's funny. I actually thought way more claustrophobic. Like you are in both cases, in theory, you're surrounded by the harshest environments. But I've always said there is nothing scarier than being out in the middle of the ocean at night. You might as well be in space at that point, like the waves and shit. But imagine being underwater, you're kind of just like in BioShock in the Rapture in that world.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you're in space and at least you'd have some cool views depending on where you're at. I'm
Yeah,
with
because the
you. I
ocean
think
is,
I'd probably go space.
yeah, because like I feel like the ocean would be just, I don't know. I feel like
There'd be
more things could
something.
go wrong. More things could go
Yeah.
wrong, I feel like in the
Yeah.
ocean.
If something's going to go catastrophically south on me, I at least want to be somewhere where it's like, you know what? I'm in space. Whatever. It is what
Also,
it is.
if we're gonna get sad real quick, in space you would implode immediately. Uh, a lot of sorry, this got sad real quick, but like if you're like in a underwater situation, like it's more likely to fill up, and you have to sit there for like 10 minutes as you're like being
Yeah,
like,
I
ah,
mean,
shit.
I guess that's a way to look at it. I mean, I guess you have to also say though, how deep is it, right? Because isn't that the thing, the pressure, how depending how deep they go in the water, it would automatically like crush you, kind of like a tube
Oh,
of
I didn't really think
toothpaste.
about that either. I'd still go with space then.
Yeah. You know what? I would want space just to be like, all right, it's out here. Whereas
Because then you could
underwater,
float and stuff, and that'd be kind of fun.
just out there, just whee.
Well, not out there. Like if you like fucked with the gravity, like in your room, and you just like floated around a
Oh,
little bit, and then you
okay.
turn it back. Like for you to float around in the underwater place, you have to go outside the water, and then you're
That's
dealing with
true.
pressurized can stuff, like you said.
Yeah, no. So, all right, we're in agreement. We would definitely go space, knowing that Jim would have went opposite and he would have went underwater. So, Jim, I'm answering for you. I know you would have chosen the opposite. But with that, guys, we want to say thank you so much for those questions. Make sure if you're supporting us, I know a lot of you out there, get your questions in, even if you need to double up. And thank you all so much once again. And speaking of supporting, please check out Skillshare. If you use our code DBPG30, you get 30% off your first year. As someone who I've used it to just try out different things, trying my hand at writing scripts and writing certain things. They offer a lot of really cool classes if you don't have time to take learning elsewhere. And our good buddy over at ghettogamer.net, if you use our code DBPG, you'll get 20% off. If you're looking to start your retro game collection, that is a perfect spot. He's got NES, Super NES, N64, and the prices are going to be a lot better than you're going to see in other places online. All the games are tested, and he's a good friend of the show. So go give him some support. So thank you guys again, once again, so much. But Celia, as we mentioned, you are part of Yacht Club. You are obviously integral. I call you the heart and soul of that place.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
and and you know, right now you guys are working through delays with Mina.
Hmm?
And Bloomberg decided to write an article that a lot of people have knocked off. Now, I do have the link to the original Bloomberg article
Hmm.
below, but they all kind of use the same tagline, which was the creator of the hit game Shovel Knight is at a make or break moment. And I want you to give your take on that article because you are featured in the article.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're very intimately aware of what it says, but what's your take on this and this situation?
So at Yacht Club Games in general, we are kind of an open book when it comes to how development is in the video game industry. I feel like there's a lot of mystery, like, of how companies do. And, if sometimes when companies are, doing less than favorable, it's like comes out of nowhere and everyone's like, what? How could this happen? So we tend to like to lift the development curtain and kind of show like what's going on. And for the article, Jason is great. He's a friend of the studio. He was invited over prior to us announcing the delay. Like we announced the delay and Jason came, but he was planned to come to our studio regardless in advance. And we thought it would be a good opportunity just to kind of talk of, how we got to, where Mina is right now, what we're looking forward to, and just have an honest conversation, a more human conversation about everything. And that's just kind of how it went. And I think a lot of, people, you take from there's a lot of things, a lot of people really appreciate our honesty. And, some, used headlines of being like, everything's on fire, screams. But it's kind of one of those things where like even though I'm quoted in the article, like, when I'm talking to Jason saying like with indie studios in general, you're only as strong as what your last game was released, and it's like that for every studio. You look at AAA, you look at indie, you look at everywhere. Right now we're in trying times. Like things are really difficult, and it's not just the video game industry. You look at tech, you look at agriculture, you look at housing, everything. We're all held together with paper clips and rubber bands and maybe a piece of gum. I don't know.
Mm.
And so, I think right now, as everyone's kind of floating through this existential plane, it's I think it's important for studios like us to be honest. But with that said, a lot is riding on Mina, but we are very confident in Mina. The delay that we chose to do was a hard decision, but we all unanimously agree was an important one to do, and it was the right decision because like the game was awesome at that point, but to have the Yacht Club games like seal of approval and polish that everyone expects, we just needed a little bit more time. But development's going great. We're not catching on fire as it is. And I think that people are going to be very, very happy when the game comes out.
Yeah, I said, looking at the game, looking at the gameplay, like I'm really excited to play it. And, I've said before, like, I really enjoyed Shovel Knight, but there's something about this game that, like, I think is going to appeal to even more people. And I think it's going to be a huge success for you guys. Um, I can appreciate, like, you guys. I'm not trying to knock any other company, but it's like I get it. Sometimes you want to get something out there, but then you turn around and if you know there's errors, there's this, there's that. It's not a decision taken lightly, I'm sure, when you have to say, all right,
Yeah.
let's delay it. You're doing it for a quality reason. It's not like, oh, this, that, or the other thing. So I don't know. I have no doubt what the quality will become. I mean, obviously, I'm super excited for it. But when I see an article like this, I know you got to put a title a certain way, but it is refreshing. You guys aren't trying to like be like, everything's perfect. Because unfortunately, too often we've seen these articles where these companies are like, nope, everything's fine, everything's fine. And then a month later, it's like, just kidding. Everything's not fine. And I like that
Yeah.
you kind of like, no, like, yeah, it's trying times, but we're working through it. That's kind
And
of how
like
I
we're
took it.
Yeah, and like we're really united on this. Like every single person in the studio, it's 15 people, so it's not many, but every single person in our studio, like we're all unanimous and really believe in the stream. And
Yeah,
in Yacht Club Games history in general, we've always been very, very transparent like this. Like if you look back to the original Shovel Knight, like Sean and Waz and David and Ian have like recounted so many times of like how things were a lot of bit scary. Like they did the
sure.
Kickstarter amount, but they still were, putting everything on credit cards to try to pay for things, till the game came out. The original Shovel Knight was delayed a few months. It was supposed to release in March. That was the original release date, and it got delayed to June. So when we announced Mina's release date, we're like, delay extravaganza part 2, because we had called it delay extravaganza for Shovel Knight also. Oops, sorry guys. We like to be a little bit silly about things, but like it's one of those things that in true Yacht Club Games fashion, we like to be honest with a little bit of humor.
So let me ask you. I know it's an impossible question to ask.
Oh.
Um, how how much do you feel more connected to this game now since being at Yacht Club Games than Shovel Knight and some of the other games you've developed? Like is there? I call it the equivalent of like you have a favorite kid, you have a favorite pet, you have a favorite thing. Like, is this clearly like for you personally? Like, this is it. This is more your favorite.
That's
And
a
I know
really
it's a
good
tough
question.
question.
I think in different ways. Like, you have two kids and you love them and different they were
Mhm.
came in different parts of your life, but you
Yeah,
still love each of them. But Mina is the first game that for the Yacht Club games, I guess my history with the Yacht Club games,
yeah.
that I've seen start to almost finish, which is really exciting to hear. Or to say out loud, just to see how this game's evolved from what we initially imagined it to be to how huge it is and expansive and all the dumb jokes. We literally put in all the dumb jokes. It's amazing. Like, oh my god, there's so many things in this game that you'll be like, what the hell? And it's really fun. Shovel Knight, I was a fan of Shovel Knight before I interviewed with the company. I like to joke, I guess to give a little history about Yacht Club Games. I like to
Yeah.
joke that I came in at season 2 of Yacht Club Games. So there's the original team, and I came in halfway of the company's existence. So there's season 1, first 5 years, second 5 years, there's me. To kind of, I guess, exaggerate, but not exaggerate of how I imagine things. But anyways, so like with the original Treasure Trove series, I was a fan of it. When I interviewed, they asked me what my favorite, title was, and I loved Plague of Shadows because of the story and the romance and how dorky Plague Knight is. But also, like, I love King Knight because he's such an asshole. And like you really like you try to root for him. You're like, you're an idiot, but like you're my idiot. And then like the ending, I don't want to spoil anything if people haven't played it, but I just bursted out laughing because I played the original Shovel Knight as well.
Yeah.
Shovel of Hope. And so like I really appreciate those games as well. And Pock and
Sure.
Dungeon and Dig are great. So like I feel like they're just all my kids. Treasure
Yep.
Trove was my stepkids because I did raise them initially. But it's
You
like I
still
have
love them, but yeah.
I have a lot of love for them, and I'm really like emotionally connected to the characters because besides just enjoying the games, I see my friends in them.
Yeah.
The characters, the writing and the humor, like those are my friends. It's Sean's dumb jokes in there, and Alex
You
like little wit, and Sandy's humor, and Waz's humor, and like I look at these games, and every different little piece, I see a soul of my friends, and so it means the world to me, to be honest.
I love that. Now let me ask you this. When I'm playing this game, do you think I'd be able to be like, was this a Celia thing? Was this a Celia joke?
There is a thing in there that is me. That is so yeah, maybe a little bit. But no, it's a collaborative effort, but it's just kind of one of those things where like I know the people and like, okay, so in the
Sure.
beginning, okay. If you look when Baron Lionel is doing the ribbon cutting ceremony, it's in the demo. So if you've played it, you've seen this
Yeah.
part. And like you're talking to all the townsfolk that were watching it. And like the jokes that are there, I'm like, that's Alec. So like it's kind of one of those things where I can pinpoint because I know who did it, but
Yep.
it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah. At this point, let me ask you. So, being so in the thick of it, and you're still developing, cleaning it up, but like, do you, when this is done, when it's released, do you like, is there a little bit of a burnout? You're like, all right, now let the public have it, enjoy it, or do you yourself like almost as a like a final like, I'm gonna play it all the way through now and sit with it? Like, well, what's going to be your process for that? Like, how do you
Um,
celebrate, but also like any major project, you kind of say goodbye and you're like, all right, now let it be its thing. You raise the kid, basically. Go out on your own, do your thing.
that's actually a really good question. So, like, we were doing internal playthroughs. Like, we're still
Yeah.
playing this game to like as runs to like see how things are. I need to replay it because from when I last beat it, we changed the ending. So now I need to go play it and see what we did. In the dark on that one. But it's just kind of what will I do? I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't stop. Because then it's post-launch marketing as well. So it's not like I just like take the kid and go like, she's
No.
still in my heart forever. I am going to be taking a vacation. I'm going to be going to Japan.
Hell
Woo!
yeah.
When
Get
we
that
select the
N6,
release
get
date.
those clear N64s while you're over there.
I know, right? Yeah, like once we figure out the release date and everything lines up, then I can plan for like when I'm going on my vacation. But it will be a very nice vacation. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing her out in the world.
How do you though, like you are tied, like, and I love hearing that. Like you're like your friend that statement, your friend souls are connected to it. And I totally I really do understand when you're saying that. But when you're like playing it, you can't turn off your like analytical work mind for it. Like versus the games like we just talked, like Roller Coaster Tycoon. You're there just to fuck around, right? Like you're there just to enjoy it. But
Mhm.
like that's why I was almost curious. Like once it's out, like do you get to sit down now as a fan versus the person who helped develop it and get it to where it needed to be to be released? Like, how can you ever turn off that like technical part of your mind and be like, oh yeah, I'm just enjoying this?
Um, I think I can because I can just appreciate it as it is. I think it just depends. Like if you're a level designer and you look at it, I feel like it's a little bit different than my role.
Sure.
But I think once you have like a step away, then you can. Like with Pocket Dungeon, I remember that release. It took me about 2 months post launch to be like, okay, time to play the game like and enjoy it
Uh-huh.
again. And then I was like super addicted and like it would show like in Steam like me playing and like David messaged me and he was like, I see you you're taken from the stash, like he was like making a joke to me and I was like it was like 2 a.m. and I was like playing Pocket Dungeon. It's so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
it
It's just
is.
one of those things. But like, you just need things to calm down because like there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of things riding on launches, especially for this one for Mina. So, it'll take me a little bit, but Mina's something truly special.
I love that. Now, do you know what is the expected like runtime? I guess is how long to beat, I guess would be the term.
Stay tuned for cool announcements about that. But it is significantly longer than Shovel Knight. It is
I,
like my
I
playthrough was longer than my playthrough of Shovel Knight.
I was assuming as much, but yeah, no, I'm very,
It's a
very
big
curious.
game. It is a
Yeah,
big game, and there's a lot of other new things that we've added to it. So there's a lot more details that I will reveal closer to whenever we announce the new
I
release
love it.
date, whenever that is. And it's a really cool feature lineup.
Like I said, I obviously can't wait for it. So as soon as you guys announce something, obviously we'll be sending it out through our all of our socials.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I that's something I'm super, super excited for. One question we did get, obviously, the dude screwed up. Erwin, you know who you
It's
are. He
fine.
put the wrong game, but he meant what he meant. He asked the question, is there any do you have any plans for a 2.5D Shovel Knight? Is what he
So,
meant to ask.
as of right now, we do not. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. So if you've read the Bloomberg article, we're really focusing only on one game right now. Holy shit.
as
Okay.
you
We need to
should.
focus on this. We made the mistake prior to like split up our attention. And, it's difficult when you're such a small team and you're so involved.
Yeah.
It's a hard process because like with our team, we wear plenty of hats. So like we're not just someone's not just level designing, they're also approving this and they're coordinating with that and like whatever. Like, I don't just handle marketing, I handle licensing, I handle biz dev, PR, influencer relations, community. Like it doesn't stop. None of us stop. Anyways,
Yeah.
so for other projects, we had announced Shovel Knight DX, which was a project that we were working on that was like future proofing the original Shovel Knight games. And that's something that we will focus on at a later date. We're just focused on Mina. A 2.5D game sounds really rad though. Like I love that. And who knows? I'm currently playing the what is it? Dragon Quest 3, the 2D 3D
Um,
HD blah blah blah.
yeah.
And that's really cool looking. I used to be such a hater of like this type of remakes, and then I played it. And I'm like, okay, fine, it's pretty and gorgeous and wonderful.
You're
I
like,
see how it is.
son of a bitch, I
So
like this. All
I
right.
know, right? Like I'm in, I guess. So I would love to see that, but I would love to see Shovel Knight in a million billion different things. So we'll see.
Speaking of that, I have a behind the scenes question just because I don't know. I know Shovel Knight has been and he's made appearances in a lot of different things.
Yes.
How does that process work? Like, I'm just curious, and you don't have to go into all the pieces, but that's my
Yeah.
thing. Like, is it literally like they just reach out and like, hey, like, Blasphemous, Bloodstained, we're interested in featuring Shovel Knight. Like, is it that simple, or like, is it a whole process?
So it honestly depends. We don't have a traditional standard like other some other companies might have. Like some companies, you go through licensing agencies. Some studios, it's just a handshake. I don't know. So there's like It's a variety of things. We get tons of people reaching out, in our email. So I do like go through that and see if something makes sense. There's times where we're working with another partner and they're like, "Oh, you guys should meet," and then we meet and then something happens. It's sometimes friends of our studio that were like, "Hell yeah, like that sounds really fun." Other times, like there's this one game that this cameo is still in the works. I won't say what, but I had met the devs and they were demoing their game. And I saw the game and I was like, I know what this is and I want to play it. And so I like sat down and I'm just like playing it. And the devs are trying to pitch it to me. And I'm like, you don't have to pitch this. Like, you can relax. I'm here to check out this game because I'm so excited. And they were like, oh, okay. And then the person that, like, the agency that they were working with, like, knew me. And they're like, oh, like, she works for, Shovel Knight. Like, and they're like, oh my God, we love Shovel Knight. And I was like, I love your game. And the person was like, like you would talk to her if you want a cameo or like to do something together. And they're like, we would love that. And I was like, I would love that. And so that's how that cameo came to be. This story will be less confusing once it's out and I
Once
can
it's
talk
out.
about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
But it
I
was
love it.
it was such a serendipitous, I love this game. And I just said yes. I was like, this sounds great. I told the team and I'm like, this is complete nepotism, but I love this game. I really love
It's
this game
getting in
so
there.
much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would love this to happen. Everyone's like, okay, Celia, cool.
I
Like,
remember I
you
meant
got
to
this.
reach out to you, like finding a secret room in Blasphemous, and there's
Yeah.
a Shovel Knight painting. I'm like, holy shit, it's right there. Like, so it was something that always poked in my head. I'm like, I'm curious how that process works. Like,
It just depends. It's collaborative. It's like there's one thing that I
I
reached
love
out
that.
recently because I was like, I would love for us to work together. And, we'll see how that conversation goes. But, we'll find out.
I love it. Well, so now there's two things we gotta keep an ear out for. Obviously,
Yeah.
Mina, I would say, is the more important, and then this collaboration with
It's
Shovel
a
Knight. I want to hear
secret.
it.
Yeah.
Uh
It's real
huh.
cool.
Now, but now I appreciate that, but now I have to ask you a question, and I'm going to judge you very hardly depending on your
Can't wait.
answer.
Can't wait.
What are your feeling on Crocs?
I do not own any Crocs. I am of the millennial generation, as are you, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And Crocs were always like dorky to
Oh my God.
us. Like I
I knew you were
remember
cool.
Idiocracy and they're trying to come up with like what would like dumb people in the future wear all the time, and it was Crocs because it was the dumbest looking thing that the set designers could figure out what they would use.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like we are living in Idiocracy. Not that I'm calling anyone that dumb to wear Crocs. I know that they're comfortable and they're fine, but I just have that stigma of them where I'm just like, no. But I appreciate anyone that still does.
I like that you know what? That is the marketing director in Celia saying that final statement. Because I don't appreciate, it's one of those unreasonable, everyone, and I don't care who you are, we all have something that unreasonably bothers you, or like, you're like, no, I'm not going to support it. Crocs are a thing I've never liked. I don't know why. I have plenty of friends, family member. I'm just, no, nope, can't support it. So Jim put up, for some reason, there's Xbox Classic. They're calling them clogs, but they're Crocs.
Yeah.
And they even have
Well,
the little charms you can put on it. And as someone who obviously has collections of dumb shit and especially video game stuff, you think I'd maybe give it a pass. I'm not. Nope. No passes for this shit.
okay, so okay, now that you've mentioned that they are calling them clogs, when I saw the $80 price tag on there, I was like, oh, it's a Crocs collaboration. There's a split for licensing. That's why that they're so expensive. The fact that they're calling them clogs means that they paid a white labeling place to make that. That is literally a line item that they slap their branding on. So it's not
Yeah.
even why is it $80? Oh my God.
What
Gosh, I hate this
$80 is
timeline.
like, it bothers me on so many levels.
That is New
I
Balance shoes starting prices, okay? And New Balances are great.
That's the millennial in us talking right now.
I know, I know.
But
This is
yeah,
the older me. Yeah, I know.
but here's the deal. All right, let's say someone sends you an email. Hey Celia, we want some Yacht Club game or Shovel Knight pins
Oh yeah,
for.
I'm fucking doing it. Hell yeah. No, there's a couple merchandise items. I'm like, ugh, I just see a landfill, but people fucking love that. And I gotta give the
Yeah,
people what they want. Okay. I'm
listen, I
like,
know there's business, Celia,
my
and
last
you're
name
able to
is
separate
Shilling.
it.
Of course I'm gonna shill. Okay, let me be.
Now
Is
the
that
real
funny? How
question
that?
is, if they came out with that stuff and said, "Here's custom Mina the Hollower Crocs with all the pins, but we want you to wear them for like, whatever." Are you down?
I feel like they would have to pay me a model fee because I'm
I
not
love it.
no feet pics for free, man. No feet
No,
pics for free.
no, yep, can't be doing that. Yeah, all right, well, once again, this would probably be a situation where Jim would go the opposite, say Crocs are comfortable or something, and him and I would argue, but I knew you and I would agree
You
with
should
this. So I,
you should put a rock in his shoe if he does that.
oh yeah, oh yeah, when he's done certain things,
Just like sprinkle it. No, like in the Crocs for him. Just
oh yeah, just keep it
pocket
in
sand,
there.
but at his feet, and he's confused at first, but then he finds out very quickly why that's a bad idea.
I will definitely support that. And Jim, when it happens, you know who the mastermind was. He still gets so mad, by the way, the Bidoof.
He
The
looks like a
when,
Bidoof. Okay, think of
when I
Jim,
when I
and
gave
then
him
like
that I
think
mean
like,
that's it. Jim's here. You should have
oh my
just held
god,
that
he's
up the whole
here.
time.
Oh my god, and he has a spear. Okay,
He's gonna I already see him. I might have to just clip that and he'll go, "You son of a bitch." Like I already see his face right now. And he'll probably do more
excellent.
of the Bidoof face. But all right, well, here's a question. So he also wanted me to talk about this. Um, in the video game industry, as you know, we're
Yeah.
seeing things struggling with industry. Like every industry, I'm in construction and I know tariffs and other things are really affecting cost of things. And one of the things we've covered is existing consoles upping their price. It's happening in Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. I guess for the third time in a row now, though, unfortunately, Xbox is increasing their prices and they're saying it's due to RAM shortages. Um, I guess I understand in the industry I'm in, like you can't help things fluctuate, things go up. But there also like you're gonna be kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you're not willing to eat the cost on a console that's been out for now 8 years. Like I don't even know how many years that those consoles have been out, but it's like you're still gonna raise prices on a console that you know in a couple years you may replace. I,
I I don't know what their brand strategy is. I feel like right now they're in panic mode. Obviously, all of my
yes,
commentary right now is me speculating, do not work for
sure.
Xbox, blah blah blah, no inside information, does not reflect my company. Anyways, so with that said, I feel like they're just making some tough decisions and they're in panic mode right now. And it's kind of one of those things where everything's looking like shit. So you're like, hold it on. And it's like, okay, well, consoles in general, like as we all know, they're kind of sold, not particularly at a loss, but the margin is very, very thin on them. The profit is what you make is for your games.
Yeah.
And like Xbox ecosystem for games, is a completely different story. But for the hardware itself, things are difficult right now. In my head, it would make more sense to become the more economical console, and that
Yeah.
would have been a vantage point for them, especially coming into the holiday season where shit is expensive now. But obviously, they made their decision to raise the price twice. I've never had a console raise in value so
That's what I'm
quickly
saying.
after.
Yeah.
Like, what a great investment. Anyways, so
Oh, you know what?
I
You just gave me an idea. I didn't even think the appreciation of your console when it's not in retro status, especially.
yeah,
Wow. That
like I've
is,
never had that happen before. Like, yeah, when it's not like retro, so like a
yeah.
more recent console do that. So it's very interesting. Um, but I really hope that Xbox figures it out. I'm not rooting for them to become a publisher instead. And reason for that is that we need competition in the market because that is better for
Yeah.
consumers. When there is no competition whatsoever, they can do whatever they want. And obviously, I'm a part of they technically, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things where large companies can decide, oh, we're going to do this now. We're going to get rid of physicals. We're going to do this or that or whatever, and it gets rid of choice. And we need that because that's what drives actual innovation.
Yeah, Jim and I, unfortunately, the topic of Xbox, seemingly, even though they've put out articles and saying, nope, we're going to stay hardware. But now we're finding out like the new Steam machine, Xbox Game Pass, like there's speculation. Could it somehow end up on the Switch too? Like their Game Pass and that service seems to be a bigger drive. And they're like, we want our games, even our exclusives on everything, because PlayStation is getting Halo now. So you're like, you're giving out your exclusives on top of everything. It's a very interesting
Okay.
model. So you're like, what's gonna happen here?
So, okay. So, with some of their choices, something to acknowledge is that user acquisition is very expensive. The wars are over. So whatever console you are going to have is the one you're going to be using, and it's what you're going to continue to use. That's just kind of what the ecosystem looks like right now. It's not the '90s where Nintendo's like, ah, we're the best, and like Sega's like, we do what Nintendo don't, and ha 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 ha. Like there is no like I guess consumer base to like bend anymore with their perception of what they want a game on. So it is definitely cheaper to publish your games on other consoles. Sure, you're taking away that 30% split, but besides that, you're still getting that purchase that you wouldn't have gotten before. And I think that's, it's definitely a beneficial financial option in the meantime. But for people to get drawn to their console, you need to have investments in first party titles.
Yeah.
And, there's always been an active, I guess, criticism with them for that. That leads into a whole other bag of worms, to be honest. But at least
Yeah.
for that note, that's probably why they're making that choice. And I see why they're doing that. And then also highlighting and emphasizing sorry, I'm such a dork about this stuff. I love this stuff.
No, I love it.
Emphasizing Game Pass and their ecosystem for that and how everything's an Xbox. Because, if they're taking a step away, not necessarily taking a step away, but also highlighting options of other consoles, PCs, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
vehicles to play the games, that adds to accessibility, especially in the Eastern market where a lot of people go to internet cafes rather than
Yeah.
having a console in their home. So it does look like I'm not saying that they're playing 4D chess, and I would like to pretend that they're playing 4D chess, but there are reasons why they're doing certain things. Do I agree with all of them? Probably not, but there's a reason, there's a lot of people going through checks and balances with these things as well. So they're not just blindly like picking
No.
things
They're
to
just hoping
do.
it's gonna work. Like, no, I agree. Like I've said, Game Pass, uh, as someone who has every console and
Mm-hmm.
every service, I think Xbox has always provided the best uh service brand like versus PlayStation, what's it called, network or whatever, like of things offered and exclusivity and just how it operates. Nintendo's the bottom of that. Like multiplayer and online stuff, Nintendo excels at their first party games and making things accessible and making it. I still say they are the most kid friendly and everything. PlayStation is number two with exclusivity and probably hardware for new consoles. And then you got Xbox. But I think the one that everyone never truly acknowledges, but everyone recognizes, like, well, you have the PC market. And if you can, to your point, if you have your Xbox games being able to be played on PC, all right, that's huge. You have Steam coming out with their new device soon, which they were talking about one of the new Xboxes being able to play Steam library as well. So it's like, yeah, there's this sharing of all these services now. And unfortunately, like we're seeing with everything, digitization of everything, hardware is kind of going by the wayside and everything's going to
Ooh,
become service based. I know. I'm not a fan of that either. Um, because you don't have any true ownership of it, right? Like
yeah, and that's
I know
bullshit.
I know all my DVDs and games behind me. I can pop them in and they're going to work. In the future, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not loving how it could go. But like you said, is it 4D chess to start setting it? Like, sure, get Xbox Game Pass on everyone's stuff. So more people are playing it. Maybe, but does that dry up competition and the need to innovate? Probably. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I don't know.
And
We'll
Roller
find out.
Coaster Tycoon.
I know, right? Okay, do you want to hear my crackpot theory? Okay.
Yes.
So remember how a long time ago it was like some leaks of something of, having Steam on Xbox, right? Like
Yes.
they were kind of like looking at that. And then, there's rumors of, could there be, like what's going on there? I think that the Steam machine or whatever they're going to call it,
Yep.
doesn't it look like a shorter Xbox Series X? I
Sure
believe
does.
it's Nintendo PlayStation. I think it's a failed deal between
Ooh, between the
Xbox
two of them.
and Steam. I feel like that's the thing. I have no proof, okay? This is me just making
I
up
love
shit.
it.
So
I
no
know.
one, but I feel like just how it looks like a smaller Xbox Series X,
Yeah.
okay? There was those rumors before, and then like obviously that's not happening. They're making their own thing. So did a deal fall through where Steam initially was dipping because also the motivation for having Steam on Xbox is them dipping their foot into the console market.
Yes.
Like that's what that is. It's not really as a sense of Xbox taking advantage of Steam because Valve is like an extremely rich company. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So it's kind of one of those things of why would that partnership exist anyway, unless they were beneficially looking into that. But
Yeah.
obviously we haven't heard anything about that anymore, and they announced their console that looks kind of similar to what that could have been. I
It's
don't know.
ironic you say that because we literally covered 1 week what you just said. The new Xbox might have capabilities of Steam.
Mhm.
Week later, the Steam machine specs came out. It's like, oh, it's a low grade PC or a lower grade, not, I don't want to call it low grade, a lower grade PC, but it just has the convenience of you can hook it up to your TV, stream all your Steam stuff. You're like, huh, so will they still allow that whole use on Xbox? To your
They
point,
don't need them.
they don't need them now if they do that, but the telling thing is, what is that price point going to be? Because that's what Jim and I
Oh,
were speculating. Like, if that Steam machine is
7.99.
like, and if it's that, I think they shoot themselves in the foot because, of course, I'm sure Brian's speculation, the new Xbox, 600 minimum, right? Like, I think that's going to be the new price. I mean, shit, Switch 2 is what, 450 or 500? How much?
450.
450. So everything's up a little bit. But yes, Steam is trying to bridge a gap between the PC folks and the casual console gamers. Because as Jim and I discovered, Jim, this is his first year. I said every year we do Call of Duty. We get it on our Xbox or our PlayStations, put the disc in, you play with your friends. He did it on his PC, had to reconfigure all this shit. It was a nightmare for him to set up. He finally was able to do it, but he's like, this is why consoles are better. You just put it in and you play. Like you don't need to configure settings and all this shit. At that price point with Steam, is that going to be enough to bring over to casuals? I don't think so. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. But I also want more competitors. Like, I want someone to come out of the blue and offer a console. And we've seen too many of them try to re-engage the retro scene or whatever it is. And yeah, I don't know. Like you said, let's see what happens over the next couple months.
For the casual market, I feel like they're going to be targeting older Gen Z, to be honest. Because
Yeah.
okay, so unfortunately, Brian, we're old.
Yes.
In
Oh,
the
I know.
marketing cycle of things, we are a lower tier of what a lot of companies focus on for their primary demographics for marketing. It's really sad when I look at those numbers and go, "Oh, I'm not in that anymore."
You're
But
like,
it's
son of a
okay.
bitch.
I'm like, motherfucker. No, okay. Anyways, so it's kind of like one of those things where like Gen Z, like the oldest ones are like 27. Okay, so they're like in their jobs. When you think Gen Z, I keep on thinking that they're younger, but it's like no, they're like 27,
They're
25
27. Yeah.
range. Okay. And then from that 18 to 24 market, like that sweet spot of like they're getting into things, they had their console, they might do that half step of that console instead of their really expensive PC, especially with the chip shortages and how everything's expensive, especially when you're building your own. That might be a market for that. It might be brewing where they're playing 4D chess with that, of like waiting for that market to open, kind of like how different industries boomed with different, I guess they boomed with like the baby boomers of their generation. That's something that could happen for like the younger
It's
Gen
interesting.
Z. Like that's what I'm imagining for this, because I was trying to think like what market is this for the casual consumer? But in our millennial demographic, like if you have a PC, if you wanted one, you would have one by now. Like
Yeah,
there is no hole in the
we
market
have it.
for
Yeah,
us. We have it. We're done.
exactly.
They don't care about us. But that generation would start leaning into that. They're graduating college, they're getting their first job. Hopefully, God, this market sucks.
Hopefully.
Um, I'm rooting for you guys. And so they're in that range of where they're upgrading their entertainment and what that looks like.
Well, and then I
So,
also wonder this new generation, to your point, the younger generation, all these studies, alcohol consumption is way down. Could that also be tied to legalization of weed and other things? Maybe, but that's down. The use of phones is way up. So the gaming market, unfortunately, on phones and mobile devices is maybe that's a boom too. Like I don't know, but I know I see what you're saying. Like when you're marketing that stuff, we are not the market for that. And I get that. Like, yeah, if I have a PC, I can play all my Steam games. I'm not gonna go buy that system. But if somebody who didn't invest in a good PC, oh, okay, this is interesting. Now I have access to Steam. Oh, let's see what this is.
yeah. So it's that
Yeah.
half step, especially with younger generations, not to get doom and gloom or anything, but like the milestones that our generation save for and like Gen X save for and boomers save for, like,
All
buying a
different.
house, for example, the goalposts have moved. So a lot of younger people, the money that you would be spending towards saving for a home or whatever, they're using more for entertainment purposes. So
Yeah.
that would be a target market that would be able to afford those slightly higher ticket items.
You mean where nowadays starter homes are like 500K and you still gotta fix them up?
That's so cheap in California. Uh,
Yeah, I can't even
I'm like,
imagine
I was
California
like, where are
prices.
these $500,000 homes where I would
Yeah.
like to view them?
Oh, yeah, it's man. And and by the way, compared to California, like 500K is probably like at least a 2,200 square foot home with land. So out there, I'm sure that 500K is like 800 square feet in a condo.
It is 500,000 would be probably a 900 square foot condominium, 2 bedroom,
Jesus Christ.
one
That's
bath.
And this is why on Thursday nights we drink. Some of us do.
I mean, I'm drinking water. It is a liquid.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are definitely not wrong. But I like how our age and the doom and gloom always comes up. But kind of doom and gloom, but kind of a hypothetical. And I think you excel at hypotheticals.
What's
This
up?
one was interesting because I am one of those annoying friends that always loves to, you live in the fantasy. What would you
Okay.
do in this situation or that situation? So this one, Jim sent me. It says it's from Reddit. Uh, no loopholes. Spend 2 years alone in a fully stocked but entertainment lacking bunker to win $1 million. Your only source of entertainment are 5 video games of your choosing, along with the consoles, devices, accessories to play the games. Which will only play the game? Which 5 games are you choosing? And yes, these include online games for the argument. So I'm very curious for you because I feel like I know your game styles, but you got 2 years and you only have 5 choices. So what would you go with for that?
Okay. So it would have to probably be like a Minecraft. Something, it has to be endless games. So like
Yeah.
Minecraft, Stardew Valley, Persona 5, because I really like the music. I wouldn't play the game, I would just listen to it. Well, I would play the game 100 hours in, beat it a couple times. But like I just really like the jazz music. And I that's like background music. That's like a repeat thing. Like I'll listen to
Yeah.
Persona music on repeat because it's just that good. Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's fucking huge. 2 years
Yep.
later, I would beat it. And then the last one,
Wait, let me ask you this. What is, and I'm sure you can't have a number, maybe you do have a number one. What is your just favorite game, regardless of how long it is or whatever? Do you have
Banjo
one
Kazooie.
that's your favorite?
Yeah, it's the game that made me fall in love with gaming.
Okay. So would you have that in there? Just as, because over
Probably.
2 years, like you need that palate cleanse, I always call it. Like you need that. That's
Probably
it.
Banjo Kazooie, yeah. Yeah.
Man, so that's the game that made you fall in love with gaming.
Yeah, have you seen him? He does this when he wins. Um,
Shut-
because I guess the jiggy and it goes up and he goes, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," you know. Um, yeah, dude, I like I started playing it and like the cute characters and the cheeky humor and like a lot of things. It's so British, the game.
I mean,
Anyways,
rare. Yeah,
it's
it's
British, yes.
it's collectathon.
God, I love
Would you
collectathons.
say that's Rare's best collectathon game? I
Yeah.
know it's your favorite. To me, so here's the deal. So, for example, like to your point, I had plenty of games growing up. A game that changed my mind, but also connected my horror love was Resident Evil.
Mhm.
I know it's not a by today's standards, people will play and be like, the fuck is this? I still have love for it and I can acknowledge future Resident Evils are better, but I still have a soft spot in my heart. Is that what do you think is the best rare style
Banjo
collectathon?
Kazooie.
You're still sticking with that. Even the
Well,
first
yeah,
one over
Banjo Kazooie
all.
is the first one.
No, 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 I'm
Banjo 2
saying
sucks.
you
Oh.
don't like any of the other ones after it?
Well, okay. Okay. Okay, so Banjo-Kazooie's game lineup,
Yep.
okay, is Banjo-Kazooie. For Game
Yep.
Boy Advance, there's Banjo Pilot. There's Banjo-Kazooie and I think Gruntilda's Lair or something. There's another Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game when you're running around, okay? And there's Banjo-Tooie. And then there's I said Banjo Pilots already, right?
No. So there's
I don't
Banjo
remember. There's
Kazooie, Banjo
Banjo-Kazooie, okay.
Tooie,
Banjo-Tooie, Banjo
Grunty's
Pilot for the
Revenge.
and Grunty's Revenge, and then there's
Yeah.
Nuts and Bolts.
Pilot.
And
Yep. Nuts and bolts.
yeah,
Yeah.
so five. So out of all of that, yeah, Banjo-Kazooie fucking rules, man. Everything about that game's design is so cleverly done. Like people should study the level design for Banjo-Kazooie because like if okay, so the world is expansive, okay? You have a giant overworld of how it seamlessly blends together as you're going through and you're transitioning into this other area, which sets the tone. When you go into each biome kind of world, there's no world map in that game. But they always have one giant focal point that you know exactly where you are in each section in relation to that focal point. So you're never truly lost in the game. It rewards exploration immediately. And so it kind of sets a tone of, oh, if I explore over here, I'll find something cool and interesting. And they have that from the get go. So it automatically teaches players by doing rather than telling how you can do something. Also, very early in the game, they gave you the option to go through the tutorial or to skip it if you already knew. But if you did choose to skip it and you changed your mind, you could still go back and do it. And if you did go back and do it, you would get rewarded by the honeycomb it adds on there. So it shows doing that extra step immediately in the game shows you that you would get rewarded for that as well. Also, for each section, there's a few things you need to collect. There's like 6 Jinjos or whatever. I think it's 6. I don't remember. Anyways, let's pretend 6 Jinjos, 100 notes, 10 jiggies. And those are the same things you're looking for in each level. And once you have that completion, it gives you a little noise and you can move on if you don't want to do that. But at the same time, you get that little dance. And you get to like complete that as you're playing it. So it gives instant gratification when you do that. There's so many things to this game that are so fun, so cheeky, and so
Love that.
clever that I think that like it should be studied. Banjo-Tooie, on the other hand, fucking sucks because it takes everything I just said about the game and went, fuck that. And they're basically like, you want more banjo? I'll give you more fucking banjo. And that's this game. Anyways,
Do
game
you
design.
I'm hoping once again we connect on Crocs. We obviously connect on a lot. Do you also share a dislike of Donkey Kong 64?
Okay, so I like lanky and I like chunky. Um,
I can appreciate liking the characters, but that
okay,
ain't the
so
question here.
okay, that's the nice thing I said. Okay, compliment sandwich. I think there are a lot of things for that game that were very ambitious and very cool, but I feel like Rare did not have the time or the sizable enough team to be able to accomplish that, and the resources and the limitations with the Nintendo 64 at the time. A lot of the controls are very slippery. There's a lot of bugs in the game that are absolutely frustrating, and there's no way to patch it because it's on a cartridge, and you get it. That's it. And there's a lot of frustrating things with the level design of the game. It was too ambitious for their choices, and one quick fix that would have fixed a lot of shit in that game was if you could just swap out the characters in the pause menu. Because the level of backtracking that you had to do in this fucking game with all 6 characters or whatever was so frustrating, where you just felt overwhelmed with the game. But if you could just quick swap or whatever, once you get a certain point and then be able to quick swap or whatever, I feel like that would have fixed a lot of shit.
Yeah, that was one of the games one of our Patreons requested, and Jim said he got motion sickness from it, so I got to play through it, and fuck that game. I love, you know what it is? You just, man, maybe it's our age group, the millennial thing. You have that nice way of saying it's ambitious, it's this, it's that. I'm the no, I know what they were doing. Like Body Harvest is another game. It was ambitious. That's the reason why we have Grand Theft Auto. Same company that did it. Ambition is great, but god damn it, that game is so frustrating. So yeah, and I'm so tired of hearing how amazing the opening song is. That DK rap. No, nope,
Have you seen the DK rap that someone did? But it was like DK rap, but modern, like what happened to all the
no,
characters.
uh-uh.
Um, yeah, it's a little inappropriate, but you should watch that after this. It's really funny because there's this
You
one
know me
line in
by
it
now.
about
That's not going to
Chunky.
affect me at all. So I'm definitely going to watch it. Like
No,
inappropriate. That's yeah.
no, okay, no, but you'll know. Okay, I love Chunky.
Okay.
Chunky is my favorite character, and that's all you need to know about this. And
Okay.
when I saw it, I was like in stitches laughing. Like I still find it funny, and I still quote it. And it came out like 7 years ago. Okay.
I will. All right. So I need to put that down, and I still need to get your, what was the term you used? Your
Oh,
hyper
repeat song.
focus,
Yeah, my hyperfixation song. Yeah.
hyper fixation.
Yeah,
Yep. So I need both of
we have our
those.
lists. We have our
Yep.
lists.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
all right. So that's your five.
Yeah, what are
My
yours?
five, my five would be, probably Total Warhammer 3
Okay.
because of how large of a game that is. Minecraft was definitely that was my first thought too. I was like, I need something that I can just build forever. Hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed any other entertainment, so you're not even allowed music. I'm trying to combine gaming and music. Like, I'd probably go Gran Turismo 2 from the PlayStation because I really like that soundtrack. And it's also a very big racing game, and I could probably 100% with all the cars, and it would take me forever. So I would do that. I would have to do Resident Evil Remake as my favorite game. And the fourth one, I would have to pick, since you are technically allowed a multiplayer game that you'd play with your friends. Whew, since I'm there for 2 years, Call of Duty goes out bound. You know what? I'm gonna do the mess that is PUBG because our friends still appreciate how buggy of a mess it is, and some of them still play it, and I can convince them to play with me. I would go PUBG just so that's my connection to the outside world and playing with my buddies. So yeah, I would have to go those five for sure.
Okay. I want to switch one out of mine instead of Roller Coaster Tycoon because it's just the top of my mind. Dance Dance Revolution, but my ultimate 25th
Ooh.
edition version of it, where it's like has all the songs, because that's a shit ton of music. That's like hundreds of
Oh
songs.
fuck, you just
And
okay.
also
Ooh.
exercise. So after
I
those
mean,
two
you could
years,
just
I
be
will be
doing
fit.
push-ups and squats and stuff. Like, come on.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine, but like you could dance to music. Why work out when you can dance?
I mean, you are, listen, I've been a friend of yours. I recognize you. You are a Dance Dance Revolution expert, some would say.
Yeah,
You just
I
made
have
me
like
change
a
my mind.
Mhm.
Whatever rock band has the most songs, I have to throw that in here. So I guess I'll replace Gran Turismo 2. Yeah, I need some music. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because initially my brain thought like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 because I like the music in that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, well, then it's just pop punk, so maybe not. So
By the way, did you do the whole Spotify wrapped up thing?
okay. Technically, I have it, but no. Okay, so for a lot of my music, I listen to like I use YouTube to like listen to music playlists and stuff.
Yep.
I don't really use Spotify like at all. So my
Same.
Spotify wrap up every year makes me sound like a serial killer because it'll be like, "Congratulations, you listened to 2 songs this year," kind of shit. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
"Wow, you fucking murderer!" Like, like
I
what is this?
I'm a degenerate in the sense that everyone I know uses Spotify. I have Amazon Unlimited, which
Yeah,
is which is like, I we pay and then but they don't do a clean wrap up like that. So I literally after talking to people, I'm like, as someone who listen, there's people that say I listen to everything. No, the fuck you don't. You're like you literally are like, well, I don't listen to this, and
yeah.
this. I will listen to everything. And I'm like, I am curious knowing my styles and I'm all about discovering new music. And I'm one of those people that are very big on sharing music with folks. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, you
here's
sent
a
me stuff.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm that's my thing. And I always want to discover new stuff. And I started dipping into my toe into Spotify after seeing all that wrap up. So I was curious if you had one, but now you're a YouTuber. All right.
Yeah, like I
I'm
just listen
I'm
because
there
like
too. I have playlists. Yeah.
when I like listen to music, it's usually like when I'm working or like I'm around the house and like I have a TV in my living room and I just put on music like through that like if I'm in the living room and I have a TV in like every room of my house. So I'll just turn on YouTube in like, the kitchen or like whatever and just listen to music that way. So I listen to music a lot. Okay. It's just I don't use Spotify.
um, as a fellow person who maybe you have OCD like me, or you just love completing lists or challenges, something I started about 2 years ago. I don't know if you're familiar. Rolling Stone has list of top 500 albums of all time,
Mhm.
and they update those every 10 years or so. I was like, I'm going to listen to every album on that list, all
That's
500.
really cool. That's a treat.
Yes, and of course I have an Excel spreadsheet where I can keep track and I score these things and I put on like the songs that I think are cool. I'm about 300 albums in. Um, what I didn't know is some of them are some bullshit because they're like, oh, the best collection from this artist. So it's like 40 songs, whereas other albums it's the more normal like 10 to 12. So yeah, it takes a long ass time, but like even though there's some artists where I'm like, I know I don't like this person, I force myself. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to all of it, and I gotta open up my horizons, if you will.
Yeah, you gotta see, feel the
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. But no one these days, I feel like, ever listens to a whole album anymore. It's the instant. Get that one song, do this. Who sits down and listens to a whole album? Unless you're like a person who likes vinyl these days.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. To be honest, I don't until like I really like a
Yeah.
song and then I'm like I'll over listen to that song and I'm like, okay, what else do they have? And then I'll
Yep.
like find the album and then care.
Yeah.
But you know what's great about YouTube playlists? A lot of the time they'll have a lot of the album on there, so I can listen
Uh-huh.
to it.
Yes. I have reverted to that as well. So yeah, I'm right there with you. But no, I do like the hypotheticals, the questions like that. But one thing that's not hypothetical, um, Game Awards, Celia. You
Yeah, it's
are
going up.
you're a little bit of an expert. We got it next Thursday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be attending. I'm going for fun this year, so I'm
I
very
love it.
excited about
Yeah,
that.
not presenting. I mean, by the
No,
way,
not
that
presenting this year. As cool as that would be, like, shout out to Jeff for always being so kind to me about that. But I'm very excited to enjoy the Game Awards and not work. Not that it's not enjoyable when you're presenting, but like you're all, hyped up on that adrenaline. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm going to do it. And then you get up and you do it. And then you're like, oh my God, I did it. I did it. Oh my God. And so you're like, it's like two sides of the coin of like
Yeah.
dissociating from life. And
And you
because of
seem
that, like,
so calm. Like knowing you and knowing probably where your mind was and how you present, like you clearly have the here's professional Celia, here's interior.
yeah,
And
like if you don't know who I am as a person, that all shuts off and I go on, it's go time. And it's like I was
yeah,
born here and it was amazing, second
I know
nature.
what I'm
Then
doing.
I'm off
Yeah.
stage, I'm like, ah, ah, ah. It was so funny. Last year, Sean and I were like, holy shit, because we're behind stage. We can see like everything. And
Yeah.
we're standing there waiting. And they're like, we're going to go to commercial and then we're going to pull you through. And we're like, oh, okay. And then Sean and I were like, if anyone trips, we have to agree that the other person has to trip too, because if we go down, but then you can't get up because you get up, then everyone can laugh at you. But you stay down, everyone's concerned. So
Yeah.
we were like planning this backstage, and they're like, "Go!" And we're like, "Okay!" And then we just did it. Sean's for context, Sean Velasco. He's the creator of Shovel Knight. He's one of my very good friends. But anyway, he's the person I do all this stuff with. But anyways, so yeah, I'm really excited to just enjoy it. Jeff announced that Evanescence is going to be the music act this year. And that is
Ooh.
so fucking cool. Oh my God. I'm so excited because the thing is, though, is that last year I didn't get to see Snoop, or I saw a little bit of it because I was like I was like in the green room doing things. Not
Yeah.
green room, it's like the section holding area. But, anyways, so like I missed part of that and it sucked because I wanted to see it.
Of
So
course.
I'm so excited to see Amy Lee. I'm like, dude, 12-year-old me would be like through the moon,
I
to the moon.
as someone who has seen them in concert, she's amazing.
Yeah,
And
she's a
I
champ.
love her music. Like, yeah. So I'm completely down with that. But I'm trying to figure out for me and you what I want to do. Little
Okay.
contest.
Okay.
I want to, for us, I picked a couple categories because obviously there's too many categories. I picked a handful of them, and I was
Mhm.
saying, all right, you and I are going to give our picks of who we think's going to win these categories, and let's
Okay.
just say the winner, the loser has to pay for a winner's beer or coffee or tea or whatever.
At too many games.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
be there.
There
I'm
you
trying
go.
to do a handshake. I'm trying to do
You
a
do,
handshake.
wait,
Is it
wait,
working?
oh, wait, hold on.
Here,
We
there
gotta
we
do
go.
it the
Here.
other way. The other
No,
hand.
no, you have no, because this is
Wait, is
reversed.
this? Wait. Oh
My
yeah, I
camera is
forgot it's
showing
fucking
me.
mirrored.
Okay, there we
All
go.
right, so my camera,
Okay,
there you
okay, there
go.
we go.
So
So, okay,
listen,
we did
all
this.
right, so yeah, we'll buy the drinks. We owe, you know what? Yeah, we owe the drinks on one of the nights of too many games.
Are you gonna go to too many games this
Oh
coming
yeah,
year? Yeah, I'll be there too.
definitely.
So cool.
Yeah. I was trying to decide if this year we're going to what was the one I asked you about before? Magfest. I don't think I'm doing Magfest this year. That's the one in Washington, D.C. I don't think you've ever gone to that one.
Yeah, I never
But
been.
PAX East also was a one where we keep talking about going, but you don't always go to those, right?
No.
Yeah. So too many games for sure. That's a staple for us. But I picked six categories. I picked Game of
Okay.
the Year, Best Indie Game, Best RPG, Best Action, Best Adaptation, and Best Narrative.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
we'll go through best for Game of the Year. The choices are Claire Obscur,
Play
Expedition
Obscure.
33. That's going to be your pick.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You
I
can
feel
agree
like
with
that.
me too. It's okay.
No, I know, but I'm like, see, my mind goes, how does Hollow Knight Silk Song not? Even though I know Claire Obscur gets all the awards, I'm kind of
Okay.
like,
So I'm imagining it to be, sorry, I'm going to jump ahead.
go
It
ahead.
will, Cleric's Fear will win Game of the Year. I think Silk Song will win Indie Game of the Year.
I was wondering, see, I was like, is this a year where Hollow Knight just cleans up? Because it's
No.
been so expected. Like Claire Obscur, I feel like came out of nowhere and has won everything.
I
But
think that should be an indicator that,
why it does,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, so both of us are saying Claire Obscur for Game of the Year. For indie game, it sounds like we're
yeah,
both saying the same thing, Hollow Knight. All
yeah.
right, let me write that down. By the way, And we'll do the preface with this. This is Celia talking, not Celia of Yacht Club Gaming.
Yeah, I have no insight as to this year. I am not I'm just
No, but
attending for funsies.
are you a little shocked? Because Jim and I did talk about for Game of the Year at least. I'm shocked Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is even in Game of the Year as a category. I didn't hear anyone talk about that shit.
I think it was like critically acclaimed. Like
Was it?
not so much yeah, I think so. I think like it got really good reviews to my knowledge, but I could be wrong. I would assume so since it was nominated.
Yeah. Like Hades 2, that was the one I remember it was in like what's the term? Not pre-development, but like it
Early
wasn't released
access.
yeah, early access. And then I'm like, oh, I've been waiting for that. I didn't even realize it got the full access. Like I feel like that
Yeah.
flew so low under the radar where I'm
It
like,
came out a few weeks after um Silk Song timing.
that's rough timing.
No, well, no, it was like back to back to back, you know, kind of thing. And so this year, just like with how many games were squeezed in at the end of the year, like it was
Yeah.
just too much.
Whereas Hades 1 was the darling of whatever year it came out. Like,
Yeah.
and that was a great game. I love the shit out of it. I just can't wait to play Hades 2, but I don't think it has a chance to win against some of these.
No. No,
So yeah,
if Hades came out next year, really great chances to win.
different
This
story.
year competition's too fucking nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then, all right. So even though we both said we're both picking Hollow Knight, let me just make sure where the hell is best indie game was Absalom? I think I heard of that one. Ball X Pit, Blueprints. I didn't realize Claire Obscur was also indie. Hades 2 and
Technically it
Hollow
is.
Knight.
It's
Ooh.
considered kind of like a juggernaut indie since,
Yeah.
you know, they were able to secure a lot of funding. They have a publisher. They're also experienced devs. So indie, like I feel like at some point we need to I guess kind of define different subsections or
Yep.
subgenres of indie because it's kind of one of those things where like it's like either a one person dev studio or there's a team of like, you know, 100 people, 200 people, you know, like, and it's, you know,
It's not the
it's like
same.
everyone being put together. It's not the same. But
No.
Claire Obscur is absolutely amazing. And like their team is
Yeah.
incredible. But, you know, it's just like, you know what I mean?
We
Like this little tiny guy who, like, with 3 people, and it's
yeah,
like,
versus
just
a
like
team of
Goliath.
200. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not we it's honestly what after running the site for this long, the parallels, especially talking to microbreweries, smaller breweries, and sometimes you see things labeled as a microbrewery and you're like, they got 5,000 folks versus a brewery place where it's like, there's 20 of us.
Yeah.
You can't put them in the same category. I'm sorry. Like you can't.
And like I do appreciate the category shift, you know, of AAA, you know, away from
Hmm.
indies. So like we have that
Sure.
space. But now that the indie market has grown so much over the past 10 years, we need to have another paradigm
There's
shift.
another term, yeah.
Yeah,
In
there's another
between indie,
another
AAA, and I don't even know what's a good tier name in the middle, but
I
you
know
need
people have been
something.
saying triple I, but like I don't know if I like triple I. It doesn't roll off
It
the tongue.
sounds weird. Yeah. AAA. Yeah, I don't like that. So yeah, so
No.
then best RPG would be Avowed, Claire Obscur, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter World Wilds, and Outer Worlds 2.
I feel like Outer Worlds. That's my guess for that.
See, my guess is going Claire for that one too. Think it's going to be a sweep for them. All right, so you're going Outer Worlds.
It's just because I want Outer World to win something.
No, yeah.
I love their mocking of consumerism. You know, like the whole thing where if you buy the what's it called, the most expensive version of the game, like you get an achievement for capitalism and like it makes you weaker or something.
I did not know that was a thing, but I love that.
Yeah, no, they mock you for
Oh
being
yeah.
this clown and paying for the more expensive version of the game.
I mean, that's part of the reason why the irony of you're not really into horror movies, right?
No.
Okay. Dawn of the Dead, zombie movie. The movie takes place in a mall and it was kind of a mocking of people that you're basically a zombie going into malls and just being capitalist, and like
Oh, okay.
they didn't pick up on it, like these survivors are in there, but everyone just kind of like shuffling around the mall, and it was when malls were a big thing in the 70s and 80s. So
Yeah.
same deal. I like that. All right, best action game goes to, they always split up action and action adventure. All right, so we have Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, or Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
I feel like
Oh,
Hades too, just because people will vote for Hades.
all right, I'm going Doom for that one
Okay.
because I feel like that game came and went, and I didn't get to play it yet, but I really want to. So, like you with Outer Worlds, I just want Doom to win that one.
Yeah.
Best adaptation. So we have Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, which I didn't even know they made a thing. Splinter Cell Death Watch, Last of Us Season 2, or Until Dawn.
What was the first one again?
Minecraft, which is what's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be
my
that.
choice.
It's gonna be for the meme. So
The chicken jockey. Yeah.
yeah, like that shit. Like, dude, the internet's gonna.
There's no, I can't imagine any of those others winning by any
I'm just gonna say
shot.
it's probably gonna be like Last of Us or something, like for some fucking reason.
Is that going to be your new choice, or are you sticking with
No.
Minecraft?
Oh, I'm sticking with
Okay.
Minecraft because I know what I want. I choose what the people
Yeah.
want, okay?
All right. All right.
I
All
don't
right.
play to
So,
win, I play to tell the truth.
and best narrative. I put this in here for you because Jim hates narrative.
Oh, I hate Jim. No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
Claire Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Toy, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or Silent Hill F.
I think it's gonna be Claire.
You think that's Claire for this one? This
Yeah.
one, ooh, I'm gonna go. Man, people love Kojima with Death Stranding. I'm gonna go
But
Death
like,
Stranding too.
dude, that's always the most like convoluted shit, man. No,
It,
no, it's
it,
great. I own Death Stranding too. I know it's great. But
I haven't played it, but I know the love of Kojima.
okay,
I,
things start to make more sense in the story of everything, like
okay,
in that game. And Kojima's Kojima.
he's Kojima.
So
Like that's what I'm saying. Like regardless, it's like when you love a director, regardless if you think the movie's great, you're gonna kind of go that way. I feel like
mhm,
Silent Hill F a little too new. Kingdom Come. I don't know much about that game. I can't imagine the narrative is a strong point. Go see a toy, same thing. That's more of a Souls based game, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then Claire, I think it's gonna sweep a lot, but like I feel like they always kind of be like, all right, we gotta give something to someone else. So I don't know. That's just my take. So we're betting drinks on that. So I wrote down our stuff. We'll track it next week. I am gonna try to live stream and also cover this while it's ongoing. You will be in audience. I'm sure the camera will sweep over you at some
If there
point.
is, I hope it's like it sweeps over me while I'm texting you to like talk shit as I'm
Yes,
winning.
yes, yes.
So you will get hate mail from me
The
during
real
that.
question is, will you do a get ready with me and will you bring a handheld? Even though I know you can't play while you're there,
To
are you
be
gonna
honest,
bring one
it
just
is a huge schlep to bring things into the theater just with security and
uh
stuff. So I
they
tend to not bring anything besides my phone and like
gotcha.
a wallet. So unfortunately, not
Damn.
with this, but I would take my Zelda Game Boy because it would go with my green dress. So
Oh, I was gonna say, like, is that not the time to bring Mina the Hollower and just happen to have it out there while you're
no, because everyone then people will be like, so when's Mina coming out? And like obviously I want to also avoid people thinking like there's fake leaks or something. Because everyone's always looking for like, oh, is there an announcement of this
all
or
that
that or
bullshit?
whatever? And I just don't want to take away from excitement of what actually is there. So
No, that makes sense. All right.
mhm.
All right. Are you all right, so you already got the dress picked out. So
Yeah.
or so as this will be, is this your first time attending not working it?
Yes, it is my first time when I'm not doing like a work thing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's
So
gonna
like
be
I'll be in
awesome.
like I don't know. They sent me my tickets. I have to look up where it is. But like it's I'm somewhere in the area.
I'm gonna wait for you to be talking shit. Be like, yep, I'm winning this one. I'm winning this one. Oh, I know it's gonna
I
come.
To be honest, I will forget what I said, so I will have to rely on you if I was right or
Yeah.
not. Because I'll just text you, I was right, and you're like, we
You're
didn't
like,
even vote on that one. It'll be like player's choice, and I'll be like, told
you were like,
you,
yeah,
and then
I got you. Fuck
yeah,
you.
fuck you, Brian. Okay, yeah,
No, but Celia, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on with me. Obviously it was a last minute thing. I want to have you on more often. You've been on, is this your third time or second time? I can't even remember at this point. You've been on a couple times. I
I
know
think it's
that.
my third time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
no, obviously getting me in person, awesome.
Mhm.
As you said, all of her links are below: Instagram, Twitter, X. By the way, when is there going to be a point where you just say X, or you always hold the Twitter moniker too?
I love the bird. I have a Twitter shirt from E3 2016 that I refuse to get rid of. Because that's when Twitter tried getting into gaming for 5 minutes.
Yep,
And yeah, I got a t-shirt out of it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll make a Twitter. That was like my entrance basically to Twitter. I wanted a t-shirt, man. Anyways, and then I joined the cesspool with everyone else. But yeah, so I like the bird. I'm still gonna call it Twitter.
I love it. No, but thank you once again. I truly appreciate you hopping on with me. Um, Makes it a lot easier on me. I hate doing these solo, so it's always great time talking to you. So, with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget, hit notification, hit the subscribe, leave some comments, let us know what you like and didn't like. And if you are listening on Podbean, iTunes, or Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. Even if you want to bash Jim or myself, we'll read on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, let's say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.